Hi, my name is Linnea Rademacher, and I wanted to give you a little bit of a tutorial on APA. So I've created this Prezi. I'm going to go back to the beginning so we can start from the beginning and answer your questions about why we format in APA style. I know that APA can cause a lot of frustration to people, and so I wanted to give you both some rationale and some tips for how to use the APA manual and other resources. So what does APA mean? Actually, it's the initials for the American Psychological Association. And so you can see the little logo up here in the left-hand corner, which should be on your APA manual. And APA stands for American Psychological Association, and this association agreed upon formatting and writing guidelines so that authors could improve their clarity, and we as doctoral faculty want you to be able to be clear and concise and available to a widely diverse audience. So let's say a little bit more about clarity. Now, I put in this quote from apastyle.org, which is a wonderful website if you want a really quick explanation for some of your APA questions. That uniform style that we talk about so much. So what this blog says is that it helps us scan for key points and findings. We give you advice about going to the abstract and going to the discussion and the results and recommendations section. All of those are because we have this uniform style that you can do that. So many of you have said to me, but I'm not doing research yet. Why do I have to do this formatting? Well, you're doing the precursor to your research and you're learning about the different component parts. And because APA is so complex, it's not something that you can do at the last minute. You have to practice and learn all the parts. And if you've looked at the APA manual, you've seen how big it is and how many parts there are in it. So we want you to practice throughout, and we want you to conform to APA, both citation formatting and writing style in all of your assignments. So one of the things that I like to talk about is writing style and how writing expresses both your thinking and your learning on a topic. Laurel Richardson is one of my favorite authors who's written about writing. And she says that she considers writing to be a form of inquiry, a way to find out more about yourself and your topic, which I just love. And that's because many people think APA is only about citations, and it's not. So there's a couple really good books out there. This Writing Strategies by Laurel Richardson is one, and Writing to Learn by Zinsser is another. And these are really helpful ways to think about writing is thinking. So this is a quote from David McCullough. To write well is to think clearly, and that's why it's so hard for all of us, including your professors. So this is the APA manual that you see here, and you all should have a copy of that. And this is also from the apastyle.org site, as with other editorial styles, and there are others. APA style consists of rules or guidelines that a publisher observes to ensure clear and consistent presentation of written material. So that's kind of a, excuse me, a summary of what they want you to do. And here are a few little small tidbits. So APA gives guidelines for headings, and you'll see me make comments about headings because they help guide your reader to organizational thinking when they're reading what you wrote. Tone of the manuscript, length of the manuscript, punctuation marks, basic grammar ideas. The APA manual is good for how to present numbers and statistics in research, how to construct tables and figures so that they're consistent, and of course, citations and references. So let's see if we can make this a little bit clearer. One of the things I mark a lot is the use of passive voicing. Which I just used in that sentence there. We talk in passive voice, and we tend to do that a lot. It's kind of a norm in English-speaking countries. So what is passive voicing? Well, that's when you give the action of the verb to the object in the sentence instead of to the subject. It can be very confusing for the reader because they don't have your face and they don't have your body language to help understand. So here's an example. The document was written to help students perform better on the test. The first thing I think of as a reader is, who wrote that document? Why are they concerned about the student? So here is a possible couple solutions. First, reveal who wrote the document. The school board curriculum committee members wrote the document to help students perform better on the test. Or the teacher wrote the document to help students perform better on the test. What does this do? Well, you can see that they're in those two versions. Two different people wrote the document and probably have different motivations, different background, different understandings, and that helps you a little bit more understand what the reader is trying to convey. So think about, does it make a difference in your understanding of the context depending upon who wrote it? Sure, I think it does. Another example is from formatting. Okay, so this is a really good picture from a Central Michigan University website where they have annotated the reference. In APA, we want the author first, last names only, first and middle initials only. We don't use first names in text or in the reference list. The date in parentheses. The title of the article, this is for a journal article. Example, the title of the article only capitalize that first word, and if you have a colon, after the first, or after the colon, the first word after the colon. And then you'll see a capital on parse, which is a proper noun, so that's also capitalized. Every word is capitalized in the title of the journal, except minor words like of, and it's italicized. And we italicize the volume number. We do not italicize the issue number, which causes me all kinds of fits when I type those, but that's the rule, so I follow it. And you put the issue number in parentheses. Sometimes there is one, sometimes there's not. Page numbers, no PP, no P, just the numbers, and the DOI. You'll notice something missing here. What used to be APA style was having that retrieved from URL, but many people put databases, which are not helpful to a reader to find and verify your resource. The DOI is the standard accepted method to identify your resource, and if a journal article does not have a DOI, then APA suggests that you put the journal website address, not the database access. All right, so notice what things are capitalized, what's indented, and all of the little details. That's part of consistent formatting. If you need more help, read through the APA manual. The sections on citations and references take up entire chapters, and they have many, many examples. And they tell you, here's an example of one with one author. Here's an example of one with two authors. And so you just have to scroll down until you find what you're doing. Use the resources in the course room, the ACU Online Library, and of course my favorite is the Purdue Online Writing Lab website, Purdue OWL. All right, so we're all going to keep calm and we're going to continue to use APA style, and of course ask your instructor if you have any questions, and I hope that this was really helpful for you all.